Hello internet, hello and welcome to today's video. Today I'm going to explain to you everything you need to know about Bushwack. So let's get started right away with his abilities. I'm just going to cover these very quickly. His first ability, the crippling dart, deals a bit of damage to an enemy, 40 plus a percentage of your attack damage, slows them for a short duration, has a 700 range. Nice thing about this ability is the range and a very low cooldown. Second ability, you jump in a direction, and your next attack is going to deal bonus damage. Nice thing about this ability is yet again a very low cooldown, so you can use it to jump around like a madman. The third ability is very interesting. You attack someone and then your attacks split and deal a cleave behind the first target. And the damage you deal is percentage based. His ultimate is a passive that dots an enemy every time you deal damage to them. If your enemy is dotted, first of all he's going to take dot damage. This stacks up to 6 stacks and he takes damage depending on that. But he's also revealed, so if we just stop attacking him, as you can see, he's going to be revealed. As soon as the dot wears off, it's going to stop with that though. Now there are a few interesting parts about this ability. First of all, the damage, the dot damage is physical. So if you use their armor, you're going to deal more of that. Also, it works based on damage you deal, so it doesn't have to be an attack or a spell necessarily. If you, for example, use the Thunderclaw, all of these are going to get dotted. Or you could alternatively also use a Codex to apply the dot on an enemy. However, this does not work with an item such as Mock of Brilliance. Mock of Brilliance is dot damage. The ultimate of Bushwack does not work with dot damage, so Searing and Mock of Brilliance damage does not apply the ultimate to an enemy. As you can see right here, I accidentally killed those two, ignore that, but as you can see, Amon-Ra is taking Mock of Brilliance damage, but not the Jungle Toxin. And again, same applies for Searing. As you can see, Amon-Ra is taking both the Jungle Toxin and the Searing, while Accursed is only taking the Searing, even though he's getting damage. Dot damage does not work. Because the ultimate is physical damage, we can buy minus armor items, such as Soul's Bulwark and Shield Breaker to increase our damage on the enemy. So if we just slow this down, have you attack him and have you attack him, we're going to see that he will be able to kill him much quicker, even though both heroes deal roughly the same amount of damage. He deals 1 damage more, but really, who cares? Now, let's just have this go by a bit and slow it down again, just to stop these two from attacking. Okay, now let's get one more hit in. Stop. Now, just take a look at the dot damage. It's going to be very difficult to see, but take a look at the dot damage. You are going to notice that the top hero, the top Amon-Ra, was taking a lot more damage. That was because of the minus armor. That's very useful. Bushwack's second passive ability, the Spinner Shot, deals damage in a short cone behind his original target. I'm showing you the cone right there. Now, something interesting about this ability is that it basically doubles his range. The hero has a range of 450, the cone is 450 units long. Now, of course, these are not regular attacks, so something along the lines of where is it? Yes, here we go. Something along the lines of a Shield Breaker does not work. It may work on the first target, but only the damage goes through to the next targets. The Shield Breaker does not apply to everybody hit in the cone. It's not another attack like Forsaken Archer or Draconis Split Shot. No, it's just damage. They just take damage in that area. They do not get slowed by a Frostwolf. They do not get hit by a Harkon's Blade. Nothing of that sort. It's just added damage. However, since the ultimate works based on damage, they are going to get the ultimate applied to them. So if you just level him up to level 6, as you can see, all of these Amon-Ras are going to get hit by the ultimate. Now that we have covered his two passive abilities, I want to quickly tell you about his general stats and what's interesting about them. So he moves at a 300 movement speed, which isn't special at all, but he has got a 450 range, which isn't too high, it's actually pretty low. The hero starts off with only 16 strength and a strength gain of 1.6. Both of these are very very low. This hero is very very squishy and you have to buy items to make up for that. Otherwise you're just going to get ripped apart by any hero that has got any sort of decent nuke. He also starts off with 14 intelligence, which again is kind of low, and only gains 1.3 intelligence per level. This is really really low. However, this hero does not need a lot of mana. Both of his active abilities are very very low mana cost abilities, and you usually don't run out of mana even though you don't have a lot of it, so that's really not an issue. Now this is where it gets interesting. The hero starts off with 27 agility. This is the highest in the game. Also he gains 3 agility per level. This is the 3rd highest in the game. This basically means that even if you don't get any items, he is still going to be very powerful and deal a lot of damage. However, he will be squishy. You have to keep that in mind. His second ability, the sidestep, is, well, a sidestep. You click wherever you want to go and he's going to jump there. Now this does walk with pathing. So you cannot simply ignore cliffs and jump down cliffs. It's going to, well, use the regular pathing for that. Which is kind of disappointing if I'm completely honest. You can also not jump through trees. That doesn't work either. You can just do whatever you can do walking, but nothing else. Well, I suppose it's kind of unit walking which can jump through heroes and creeps and stuff like that, but other than that it's really kind of disappointing. Your next attack is going to deal a bit of bonus damage, though that bonus damage is static, so it's really not all that amazing. The main purpose of this ability is to have the low cooldown jump, which is useful, but I don't think it's crazy good. The added damage of the sidestep, however, does not get straight up added to your attack damage and does not walk with your first ability. It's a buff that provides you with added damage. So even if you sidestep, use your first ability on somebody and then you attack, you're still going to get the damage only on attack. His first ability, the crippling dart, is amazing. It's really good, especially early on. Now I already quickly explained what it does earlier, but basically the dart fires and slows the enemy. And the really nice thing about this ability is the very low cooldown and the very low mana cost. And if I'm talking about a low mana cost, it's 40 to 55. This is really low, especially early on. Also amazing is the 700 range. Now especially during the laning phase you can abuse this. It's spammable. The hero doesn't have any need for more mana, and really just use the crippling dart whenever you can. It's just, why the heck not? Especially considering that on level 1 a crippling dart is going to deal more damage than an actual attack. So this is just straight up amazing. You can harass any enemy like a madman and they really can't do anything about it. It's just gonna cry. It's just really good. This ability is also very powerful late game. The thing about it is that it deals 40 plus a percentage of your attack damage. Not your base damage, your attack damage. So this ability is going to scale up the more powerful your hero gets. And eventually you're going to hit for 500 with just one crippling dart, which is of course very awesome. I don't know if you noticed it yet, but this hero has got one big problem. He doesn't have a stun or a mini stun. So if I'm attacking somebody, I'm doing my best to kill it, firing everything I can, I really can't stop him from just, well, TPing out of there. Like, what can I do? Nothing. Something I also want to mention really quickly is the farming potential of this hero, which is just ridiculous. I bought some items, which I suppose you can have these if you're on level 12. It's really not all that much, to be honest, and this is not supposed to be an actual item set, it's just supposed to show off what this hero can do in terms of farming. This hero has got a great flash farming ability, so if you couple the ultimate with the splinter shot, you can just sit here and just kill everything. Now this is of course not a realistic scenario, who would have thought? But I think you get the point. It's just really good at taking out tons of creeps really quickly. It's a great pushing tool, it's a great counter pushing tool, just generally amazing, and it's going to help you farm a lot. Even in the games I have lost with this hero, I always had around 400, 450, even 500 GPM. And it's just so easy to get farm with this hero. Not only that, but it can also be used for killing neutral creeps in the jungle. You just pull them outside of the camp, and it doesn't matter which creeps they are, and you just use this. You can very easily kill stacked creeps like this. It's very simple, and triple stacks really are no problem, even early on. It's amazing. The farming potential of this hero is crazy good. In terms of item builds, I've got multiple ideas and multiple things I think that could work. First of all, I think you should always get the Steam Boots and the Energizer. I just think these two are core on him. I don't like the Ghost Marchers. The hero is so squishy, I think you should get the Steam Boots just for the added survivability. If you want to get the Ghost Marchers, okay, I can see the reasoning behind it. I personally just like the Steam Boots more. The Energizer, great for catching up with enemies. It's just generally a good item. I think you should get it on this hero. Now, this is where it gets interesting. I think you could either go for Dawnbringer, which works great. He can use the movement speed, he can use the slow, and the searing coupled with the jungle toxins just a crazy amount of dot damage on the enemy. However, there's of course the other build where you go for a shield breaker, which it works with the jungle toxin and with the crippling dart, as both are physical, and everything about this hero is physical, so you can definitely use the minus armor. And you go for more of a minus armor build with like shield breaker and bulwark, which I can definitely see being very, very good. I don't know which one is better yet. I'm just giving you a few ideas of things I think could work. I haven't tried all of these yet. I'm just giving you some ideas. I think these would work great. However, I see a problem with these, because if you want to invest into all of these items early on, you're not going to have a lot of HP. So I personally would suggest getting the Insanitarius. Not even kidding at this point, just get the Insanitarius early on. It's gonna give you a lot of survivability, a lot of HP to walk with, and it's probably the cheapest way to go about it. Another item I think is definitely core on this here would be the Shrunken Head. Shrunken Head is just amazingly good, and it has to be core on this hero. You have to get this. No matter which build you go, you have to get the Shrunken Head at one point or another. The hero has got a very low range, and because of that he has to get close into those fights to actually deal some damage. And being the squishy target he is, the Shrunken Head is the cheapest way to get added survivability. Now, an item I really don't like on this hero is the Geometrous Bane. Some of you might think, hey, that sounds like a great item to have. Yeah, it certainly does, but if you consider that his illusions don't get either passive, I don't think it's all that great. As you can see, they don't get the jungle toxin, they don't get the split shot, so I really don't think it's all that good. It's still a good item, but it just doesn't synergize with the hero. If we are theorizing, I personally would like to see a build along the lines of a Searing Light and a Shield Breaker on this hero, maybe. This is again more of an offensive style, but it's going to give you movement speed, which is very necessary. The Searing Light is also going to increase your farming potential and your damage, as well, the dots, more dots, all about the dots on this hero. And then you also got the Shield Breaker for added damage with your jungle toxin, and overall just more damage. So I think something along these lines could work, and then you just get these two and maybe a Shrunken Head afterwards. I don't know, this is just what I think could work, but really there are a lot of choices to go on. I tried rushing the Shrunken Head, which didn't work out too well, as it really doesn't do all that much. Now, rushing Genshiro, you guys know that I generally hate this. I just think it's not worth it, and same on this hero, I don't think it's worth rushing the Genshiro. I don't think you should do that. You should invest into something cheaper, something a bit more cost effective, though the Genshiro later on in the game could definitely be useful. In terms of DPS items later on, I personally like getting the Wing Bow more than the Savage Mace, as the Savage Mace doesn't actually work with the Splinter Shot. They do not get the true damage from the Savage Mace, which isn't too great, and because of that I would like to see a Wing Bow more. However, Savage Mace is still an amazing item to get. Charged Hammer, maybe. I personally am not the biggest fan of it though. I think you're going to attack quickly enough either way, so you should maybe invest in something that's more damage. Also, your enemies are going to have a Shrunken Head at this point, which is mainly the reason why I don't like the Charged Hammer. Another item, of course, would be the Demonic Den, but, well, I guess it's obvious by now. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please don't forget to leave a rating and maybe check out one of my other videos. I uploaded 2 Bushwack gameplays so far and I think both of them are pretty good. So if you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to leave a like. Also, please don't forget to submit the top fail of the week and I hope to see you tomorrow. I don't know if you noticed it, but this hero has one big problem, and that being that he doesn't have any sort of mini stun or anything of that sort. So if I want to kill somebody, well, unless that happens, so let's try that again.